This is the last of the Don Q Syrahs collection rums that I'm going to try, and I think it's also the best. So the full name is Don Q Double Cask Finish Cognac Edition 8-year-old Puerto Rican rum. For my money, the whole business about the double cask finish or whatever is a bit of a misnomer, because given that it has been aged for about 2 to 3 years in ex-cognac French oak, it's not really a finish anymore, is it? It's a double maturation is what it is. And the nice thing about this particular rum from Distillería Syrahs, who owns the Don Q brand, is that for once they have dispensed with the 40% and they've gone right up to 49.6%, which is great. The only other rum that I know about that they do is the 10-year-old 2009 single barrel expression, which unfortunately I haven't had a chance to try. But if it's anything like this, it's going to be bloody good, right? So a couple of things about it. We've already talked enough about Don Q and what the name means and who owns the brand, which is Distillería Syrahs, and we've talked about the fact that they're all column still boys, and this is a mixture of single column and multi-column blend, and it's aged for 5 years in ex-bourbon casks, and then it is aged for another 3 years in French oak, as I've said. So it's an 8-year-old. That's according to the website, and I'll get to that at the end of this particular show. The real question is, how good is it? And I will go straight in and say, I think it's bloody good. I think it's really, really good. And part of that is the strength, but part of it is also somehow the alchemy of that double aging. Yes, we've had double aged rums earlier in this series, so definitely there are more of them around, and I've liked them. But the combination of that double aging together with the extra strength really elevates this above the normal. So I'll go straight to the tasting notes here, nosing it. Yeah, I mean, you just can't go wrong with this thing. It has all the usual hits that you would expect to see playing. So it has caramel, smoke, leather, vanilla, a really good Haagen-Dazs salted caramel ice cream kind of vibe to it. But it also has some really nice fruits in it, and that's a combination of white pears and softer peaches, but as well as some sourer notes from things like gooseberries or slightly green mangoes, that kind of thing. And somewhere behind all of that in the citrus line is also that weird scent of like a log that has been burning and has down to coals that you then douse with water. It's that kind of smell too, which is far from unpleasant, let me hasten to assure you. And of course, there's a sort of like a grapey cognac vibe behind all of that. Tasting it, I've let this stand actually for quite a bit. I always like doing that in advance so that it kind of like opens up just a little bit more. 5 minutes is usually enough for something this good. Basically, everything that you tried on the nose is going to be repeated on the palate. It is at 49.6%. It goes down really easy. It tastes absolutely lovely. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't get bitchy, scratchy, or anything like that. It has a fair amount of ripe fruits in it, as well as the creamy caramel notes. The salted caramel ice cream that I like so much is definitely part of that. There's a little bit of brine, some olives there, walnuts, kind of like a hint of florals, as well as, of course, here the sour notes are a little bit dialed down, so you're not getting as many gooseberries or green mangoes or anything like that. And behind all of that, of course, leather, and there's that snap of the tannics, which is really quite nice. So I like this rum a lot. I think it is head and shoulders above the 40% expressions. I'm going to score it 86 points. It could be a little bit better, but there really isn't much to deal with here. You know, it's a completely traditional rum that has given an extra fillip with the double barrel age, the double aging and so on. And I think that even though it may be a bit pricey for some, I've seen it between 40 and 60 euros on some websites. I've seen it for 6 to 7 pounds on the Whiskey Exchange. So there's that. The only other points I wanted to make here are the aging, which is really quite confusing because they say that the label, which I have in the written review that will accompany this video, on the label it says something completely different from what the website says, or at least enough that it's confusing, right? So it says that it was distilled in April 2009 and then aged in ex-bourbon. I think it was until 2012, and then nothing. There's literally nothing. They say nothing what happened between 2012 and 2019 when they put the blends together to marry and put the next Cognac cask until it was bottled in 2022. So it's a little bit confusing whether this thing is a 7-year-old rum, a 2-year-old rum. It's like, I just don't know. And I think they could be clearer about that. But the main point I want to make about this is that I hope they do more like this. 40% is definitely okay for the mass market, and nobody will have any fault to find with those double-aged expressions that they make as part of the Syrahs collection. I just think that there is real potential here for this to go and take on a bigger market share in the global market, because this thing is bloody good, and I can't say enough good things about it. I also want to leave one last comment to the guy on YouTube. I think his name is Victor the Slickster 5824 or something like that. You know, he said, Lance, can you kind of like deal with the Syrahs collection or more of the upscale finished ones? I hope, buddy, I hope I've done you justice and given you everything that you've wanted. I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to try the 2009 10-year-old single barrel edition, but that wasn't available at the time when I was trying these. And a last hat tip to Duncan Hayter and his daughter, who helped me so much that day in the Berlin Rum Festival. And that's pretty much it for today, a shorter one than usual. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. And I hope you have a really nice afternoon, as I am having here in Calgary. Take care until the next time. Bye-bye.